Have you ever found yourself wide awake at exactly 3 a.m. again? You look at the clock, sigh, and wonder why your body won't let you rest like it used to. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Many older adults experience these early morning awakenings. But what if these 3 a.m. wake-ups are not random at all? In this video, we'll uncover 5 science-based reasons why you may keep waking up at that same mysterious hour, and what it could be telling you about your health, your sleep, and even your emotional well-being. Stay with us, because by the end, you might not only understand your body better, you might also sleep better.
Section 1. Changes in sleep architecture. As we age, our sleep structure, or what scientists call sleep architecture, undergoes a natural shift. Older adults tend to experience a reduction in deep, restorative sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, and an increase in lighter stages of sleep. This lighter sleep makes it easier to be awakened by even small disturbances, like noise, body temperature, or stress. By around 3 a.m., many have already cycled through their deepest sleep phases and are in a lighter stage, making wake-ups more likely. Fact: according to the National Sleep Foundation, adults over 65 spend significantly less time in deep sleep than younger adults, often less than 10% of the night. Sleep architecture refers to the structure and pattern of your sleep across the night. It includes different stages of sleep, which your body cycles through multiple times per night. These stages are 1. NREM Stage 1, or light sleep. 2. NREM Stage 2, or intermediate sleep. 3. NREM Stage 3, or deep sleep or slow-wave sleep. And 4. REM sleep, or rapid eye movement, associated with dreaming and brain restoration. What happens with age? As people age, there is a natural shift in this architecture. A reduction in deep sleep, Stage 3. Older adults spend significantly less time in deep slow-wave sleep, the stage that is most physically and mentally restorative. Instead, they experience more light sleep, especially stages 1 and 2, which are easier to wake up from. Increased sleep fragmentation. Sleep becomes more interrupted. This includes frequent micro-awakenings, brief moments of waking that may not be remembered but disrupt the sleep cycle. Shortened REM cycles. Although REM sleep doesn't disappear, the duration and depth of REM cycles may reduce slightly, affecting mood, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation. Why is this important? Stage 3 deep sleep is when the body repairs muscles and tissues, stimulates growth and development, boosts immune function, and builds up energy for the next day. Losing this stage can impact physical recovery, cognitive performance, and immune resilience. With less deep sleep, the brain becomes more sensitive to external and internal stimuli, like noise, temperature, bladder urgency, or anxiety, which makes waking up at 3 a.m. or multiple times throughout the night far more likely. Additional considerations. The decline in deep sleep doesn't necessarily indicate a sleep disorder. It is part of normal aging. However, sleep fragmentation and early awakening can become problematic when combined with stress, depression, or medical conditions. This lighter sleep pattern means older adults may feel less refreshed, even after spending 7 to 8 hours in bed. Aging changes sleep architecture. With less deep sleep and more light sleep, older adults become more prone to early awakenings, like waking up at 3 a.m. This shift is a biological adaptation, but when compounded with emotional, environmental, or medical factors, it can significantly affect sleep quality.
Section 2. Decrease in melatonin production. Melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating your sleep-wake cycle, naturally decreases as you age. This hormone is released in response to darkness and helps signal your body that it's time to rest.
Lower melatonin levels mean weaker signals to stay asleep. That's why even if you fall asleep at a decent hour, staying asleep until morning becomes increasingly difficult. Fact, studies show that melatonin production in people over 60 can drop by as much as 50%, leading to fragmented sleep and early morning wakefulness. Melatonin is a natural hormone produced primarily by the pineal gland, a small endocrine gland located near the center of the brain. It is often referred to as the sleep hormone because it plays a critical role in regulating the body's circadian rhythm, our internal 24-hour body clock that governs the sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin levels typically begin to rise in the evening as it gets dark, peaking during the night to help you stay asleep, and then gradually decrease before dawn, helping you wake up. What happens as we age? As people get older, melatonin production declines both in volume and consistency. Natural secretion declines. Starting around age 40 to 50, the body begins to produce significantly less melatonin, and this drop becomes more pronounced with each decade. Delayed or irregular release. The brain may fail to release melatonin in sync with nightfall, weakening the signal that it's time to sleep. Consequences of lower melatonin. Harder to fall asleep. With less melatonin, the body may not feel sleepy at bedtime, even if you're tired. Waking up too early, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Since melatonin levels drop prematurely or don't rise high enough, the sleep signal weakens in the middle of the night. Light sensitivity. As melatonin becomes scarce, external light, street lamps, smartphone screens, can have an exaggerated negative effect, making sleep even more disrupted. Did you know? Melatonin is also an antioxidant. It helps protect cells from damage, meaning its decline not only affects sleep, but may also impact immune health and cognitive resilience. Artificial lighting suppresses melatonin. Using devices like smartphones or watching TV in the evening can suppress melatonin by as much as 50%, especially in older adults who already produce less. How to support melatonin naturally. Dim the lights after sunset. Avoid blue light from screens at least 1 to 2 hours before bed. Get morning sunlight. Daylight exposure helps reset your circadian rhythm and promotes melatonin release at night. Go to bed at the same time every night. Regular sleep patterns train your brain to release melatonin on schedule. Consider low-dose melatonin supplements, 0.3 to 1 milligram, if recommended by your doctor. Melatonin production naturally decreases with age, reducing your brain's ability to signal it's time to sleep. This leads to difficulty staying asleep and often results in waking up in the early hours, like 3 a.m. Understanding and supporting melatonin production can significantly improve sleep quality for older adults.
Section 3. Emotional and mental health factors. 3 a.m. is a psychologically vulnerable time. The world is silent, your mind is loud. Feelings of loneliness, unresolved thoughts, or anxiety often surface in these quiet hours. For many older adults, this is when worries about health, finances, or family can bubble up, triggering what's called middle-of-the-night rumination. Fact: a 2021 study published in the Journal of Aging and Mental Health found that individuals over 65 who experience chronic early morning wakefulness often also report higher levels of anxiety or depressive symptoms. Sleep and mental health are deeply connected. It's not uncommon for older adults to wake up around 3 a.m. and feel mentally alert, but not in a good way. Often the mind is racing, full of worries, regrets, or lingering thoughts from the day. This isn't random, it's rooted in neuroscience and psychology. At this early hour, your brain's default mode network, DMN, becomes active. This network is responsible for introspective thought, memory retrieval, and self-reflection, which is why anxious thoughts often intrude during the night. Common emotional triggers in older adults. 1. Worries about health conditions, e.g. chronic illness, memory decline. 2. Financial insecurity or retirement anxiety. 3. loss of loved ones, loneliness, or grief. 4. Sense of purposelessness or existential thoughts. 5. Fear of dying in sleep or not waking up, common but rarely spoken. Even mild stress can be magnified in the stillness of early morning, especially when the body is vulnerable due to low cortisol and low serotonin levels at night. How the brain makes it worse at 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and problem-solving, is less active, while the amygdala, associated with fear and emotion, becomes more reactive. This imbalance means your brain is less able to rationalize fears and more likely to spiral into emotional thinking. In simple terms, your brain is awake but not thinking clearly, only emotionally. Vicious cycle. Sleep loss interacts emotional distress. Waking up at 3 a.m. because of anxiety can create sleep deprivation, which in turn lowers emotional resilience, increases irritability and worry, weakens the body's ability to regulate cortisol, the stress hormone. This creates a feedback loop. Poor sleep worsens emotional health, and poor emotional health worsens sleep. Practical solutions for emotional sleep disruption. 1. Nighttime journaling. Write down worries before bed to unload mental burden. 2. Gratitude meditation or prayer helps shift emotional focus before sleep. 3. Talk therapy or counseling, especially for grief, depression, or anxiety. 4. Set a worry window during the day so your brain doesn't choose 3 a.m. to do it. 5. Avoid stimulants and distressing news in the evening. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't always physical, it's often emotional. As the brain's logic weakens and emotional centers dominate, stress, grief, and anxiety can flood the mind, pulling older adults out of sleep. Understanding this link is the first step towards healing sleep through emotional support, mental care, and compassionate routines.
Section 4. Underlying medical conditions or medications. Sometimes it's not just about age, it's about health. Certain medical conditions like nocturia, frequent nighttime urination, sleep apnea, or chronic pain can disrupt sleep at predictable times like 3 a.m. In addition, many older adults take medications that list insomnia or early waking as side effects, such as blood pressure medications, antidepressants, or steroids. Fact: over 70% of people over age 65 take at least one medication that can interfere with sleep quality or timing. Health aging bodies, complex health. As we grow older, the body becomes more sensitive to physiological changes, chronic illnesses, and the effects of medications. These factors can silently contribute to frequent awakenings, particularly in the early morning hours like 3 a.m. Let's explore the most common health-related causes and medications that disrupt sleep in older adults. Common medical conditions that disrupt sleep. 1. Nocturia, frequent nighttime urination. This is one of the most common causes of sleep interruption in older adults. As the bladder weakens with age, it becomes less efficient at storing urine. Older adults also tend to produce more urine at night due to changes in kidney function. Fact: studies show that over 70% of men and 75% of women over the age of 65 experience nocturia at least once per night. Source is Urology Journal, 2021. 2. Sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea or OSA. This condition causes brief pauses in breathing during sleep due to airway collapse. Each pause may last 10 to 30 seconds and occur dozens or even hundreds of times a night. These disruptions often cause brief arousals even if you don't remember waking up. Waking between 2 and 4 a.m. is common. Fact: according to the National Sleep Foundation, up to 62% of older adults have some degree of sleep apnea, many undiagnosed. 3. Chronic pain, arthritis, neuropathy, back pain. Pain doesn't take a break at night. For people with arthritis or nerve-related conditions, micro movements during sleep can trigger pain signals that wake the brain. Sleep is often fragmented with multiple short awakenings that peak in the early morning hours. Study: a 2018 review in Pain Research and Management found that chronic pain patients are 3 to 5 times more likely to suffer from sleep maintenance insomnia. 4. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. When lying down, acid reflux symptoms can worsen, causing chest discomfort or coughing that wakes the sleeper. This is often mistaken for anxiety or heart issues, especially in older adults. GERD symptoms are most commonly reported between 2 and 4 a.m. when the body is in full rest mode. 5. Depression and anxiety, often undiagnosed in seniors. Emotional disturbances such as late-life depression are often underdiagnosed because they manifest more physically than emotionally in older adults. A key sleep symptom is early morning awakenings, often around 3 a.m. A 2019 meta-study in the Journal of Affective Disorders showed that early morning waking is the most predictive sleep symptom in geriatric depression. Many 3 a.m. awakenings in older adults aren't psychological, they're medical. Conditions like nocturia, pain, or reflux, and even medications taken for unrelated issues can all play a hidden role in disturbing the body's natural sleep rhythm. Understanding these medical triggers allows for targeted interventions, adjusting medication schedules, treating underlying pain or reflux, investigating signs of sleep apnea, re-evaluating drug combinations with your physician.
Section 5. Circadian rhythm shift, the phase advance. Our internal body clock, or circadian rhythm, shifts naturally as we age. This shift is known as a phase advance, which means we feel sleepy earlier in the evening and wake up earlier in the morning, often around 3 or 4 a.m. This rhythm is part of how your body adjusts to aging, but it can feel frustrating, especially if you're not going to bed at 8 p.m. Fact: according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, phase advance is one of the most common causes of early morning awakenings in healthy seniors. What is the circadian rhythm? Your circadian rhythm is the internal 24-hour biological clock that regulates many essential functions, especially sleep and wake cycles. It's controlled by the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the brain, which responds primarily to light and darkness. This rhythm tells your body when to feel sleepy or alert, when to release hormones like melatonin and cortisol, when to regulate body temperature and metabolism. In a healthy adult, the circadian rhythm promotes sleepiness at night and alertness during the day. How aging affects the circadian rhythm. As people age, the circadian rhythm becomes less robust and undergoes a natural shift, known as phase advance. So phase advance explained. You feel sleepy earlier in the evening, for example 8 or 9 p.m. instead of 10 or 11 p.m., and you wake up earlier, often around 3 to 5 a.m., regardless of how much sleep you've had. This is not insomnia per se. Your body simply wants to shift the sleep window earlier. Why does this happen? There are several physiological changes behind this shift. First of all, reduced sensitivity to light. Aging eyes receive less light, especially blue light that regulates the circadian clock. This weakens your body's ability to respond to day-night transitions. Second, decline in melatonin production. As discussed earlier, older adults produce less melatonin, which further weakens sleep signals. Third, aging may result in altered cortisol rhythms. Cortisol, which helps maintain alertness, may peak earlier in older adults, causing premature awakenings. What does it mean when you wake at 3 a.m.? If you go to bed at 9:30 p.m., which many older adults do naturally, and your circadian rhythm is advanced, your body might consider 3 to 4 a.m. as morning. This is biological, not behavioral.
your brain is following a shifted internal clock. Tips to rebalance your circadian rhythm. First of all, increase daytime light exposure. Especially in the morning hours, try to get natural sunlight for 30 to 60 minutes daily. This strengthens your rhythm and helps delay melatonin release. Second, limit evening light exposure. Avoid screens, bright lights, and blue light after sunset. Use warm, dim lighting. Third, set a consistent sleep-wake schedule. Even on weekends, wake up and go to bed at the same time to train your internal clock. Fourth, avoid long daytime naps. Limit naps to 20 to 30 minutes earlier in the day so your sleep drive remains strong at night. Finally, consider timed melatonin supplements. Small doses of 0.3 to 1 milligrams taken a few hours before your desired bedtime may shift your rhythm back, but only under medical guidance. The 3 a.m. awakening may not be a sleep problem. It might be your biological clock doing its job on a new schedule. This shift, called the circadian phase advance, is a normal part of aging, but it can feel frustrating if your bedtime or lifestyle isn't aligned with it. The good news, with light therapy, consistent habits, and proper care, you can rebalance your rhythm and reclaim restful sleep.
What can you do? So, if you find yourself awake at 3 a.m. again tomorrow, know that your body is trying to communicate. Whether it's a biological shift, a hormonal signal, or an emotional response, these early wake-ups are part of a larger story. The good news is, there are steps you can take. Create a consistent sleep schedule. Reduce blue light exposure at night. Try gentle relaxation techniques before bed. Talk to your doctor about medications or sleep disorders. Consider natural melatonin supplements if appropriate. You are not broken. You are human. Aging brings changes, but also understanding. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who wakes up at 3 a.m. too. Let's create a world where older adults feel empowered, not anxious, about their sleep. Tell us in the comments, what helps you get back to sleep at night? Don't forget to subscribe for more videos on health, wellness, and aging with grace. Thanks for watching, and here's to living longer, healthier, and happier. See you in the next video.